So talking about the IRR, I would use a very simple example. I just opened up my Excel file, and here I just give you a very simple project. I say this is the year number, and this is your cash flow, and this is a 2-year project. Up front, it requires you to invest $100, and then in year 1, you would get $150 back. And let's say the cost of capital for this project is 10%. Okay, it's 10%. Okay, this weighted average cost of capital is 10%. So what is the NPV of the project? If you use Excel to the NPV, okay, you should put a 10% first, and then your future cash flow is this 150, and then you add this negative 100 outside the box. Okay. So you put in the dollar format, don't get panic, okay, this should be in dollar form. The NPV is this much. Alright, that's how you solve the NPV for the project. This is a pretty good project because the NPV is positive. And if you want to use your calculator to do the job, just to remind you how to use your calculator for NPV, you hit apps, you hit finance, okay, and then you hit number 7. That's where you get NPV. Okay, and your rate is 10%. Okay, so you put a 10 first, then comma, and then you put negative 100 for cash flow 0, then comma, don't forget this comma, and then you put a brace, then you put a 150, okay, and then hit enter. Alright, so you got 36.36. That is your NPV for the project. And then if you want to know the internal rate of return, basically the internal rate of return would give you an idea of 0 NPV. Okay, so let's say this is your NPV, and for now you use the WACC as the discount rate, right? And what about I change my discount rate to some other numbers? So let me just put a note right here. WACC equals to 10%. That's how much you need to pay your investors to attract the capital, to attract this $100 to start the business. Okay, so that's the notes I put aside for now. So just talk about this discount rate. If you look at the discount rate, if I increase my discount rate to 20%, so if I hit enter, what would happen to NPV? Do you think the NPV would increase or decrease? The answer should be it decrease. Okay, just because you enlarge the discount, so the present value of this $150 would be less, so your NPV would be less, the project just become less desirable. Okay, and if you look at these two cash flows, guess what kind of discount would what kind of discount rate would push this 150 to 100? Okay, well, if you are good at math, you should know it's 50%. Okay, if I put a 50% as the discount rate for this 150, okay, so I will get a 0 NPV. Okay, I will get 0 NPV. So just use a general. So that's 0. Okay. Okay. If I create another column here, this is the discount cash flow. Okay. So for the discount cash flow, you are going to use the given cash flow divided by 1 plus the discount rate, okay, with to the power of whatever the year number is. So this is negative 100, and this would be 150. Okay. Okay. So this need to be fixed. I'm sorry, just fix that discount rate. So when I drag it down, so it will give me 100. So my NPV there, you can use it as the summation of the discounted cash flows, or cash flow at present values. Okay, so if I give a higher discount rate like 60, you will see my $150 get discounted to a value that is less than 100, so my NPV will become negative. If my discount rate is 5%, then this 150 would be discounted at 142, and then that's gonna increase my NPV. Alright, so I hope you get an idea what internal rate of return is. So internal rate of return basically is the discount rate that would force your NPV to be 0. Okay, and in this particular case, so 50% would be my internal rate of return. Okay, because at the 50% discount rate, my NPV is forced to 0. I reach break even. So 50% is the answer. All right. So if you want to solve that in Excel, how do you get IRR? You can basically just use IRR function of Excel, okay, and then you just get all your values. That's it, okay. Get all the cash flows, and your Excel would recognize the cash flow is from 0 to whatever period it is. Then you hit enter. That's what you get. All right. So now what kind of IRR do you prefer? Now you have a 50% IRR. Do you want the IRR to be a big number or a small number? The answer is you want it to be a big number. Okay. So let's say if your cash flow in the future is 180, then what would be your IRR? You'll be 80%. So 80% IRR is better than 50% IRR, just because this cash flow is bigger. Okay, you make more money there. In other words, so if I change this cash flow 1 to 110, then the project just becomes less desirable because I'm making less money here. Then if I hit enter, my IRR just get to as low as 10%. So that's not quite good. All right. So that's how you compute IRR. If you want to do the work in calculator, okay, there is a function of your calculator to do that. So once again, let me clear this. Once again, you hit apps and then finance, and then you move all the way down to option 8. You get IRR. When you have IRR, and so the first thing you need to put is a cash flow 0. You put a negative 100 there, okay, and then comma, and then brace, and then you put all the future cash flows. In this particular case, you only have a cash flow 150. Then hit enter. All right, so 50 is your answer. 50% is your internal rate of return.